earth, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation, and we will kill you.
4 Americans dead in 3 days of airstrikes, more than 500 Iranians, including, reportedly, the Ayatollah Khamenei's wife. Vicky Barker, CBS News.
We are continuing to watch the markets. They are down this morning, but have rebounded since the opening bell at 8:30. Meanwhile, as far as the oil production goes, we're seeing some impacts there. ABC's Joe Benitez.
The cost of oil, we're looking at about 11% higher in U.S. trading at more than $72 a barrel. So clearly, there is an impact that we're seeing right away. We're also hearing about oil refineries that are just halting production right now in the region because they're afraid of attacks. We know that Iranian drones were trying to attack a Saudi oil refinery, and we know that another refinery has said, you know what, we're just going to halt production.
Again, as of right now, we anticipate hearing from the president set to address the war with Iran at any moment. If and when that starts, we will bring it to you live right here on WTMJ Radio. Here at home, 4145 northbound, north of the zoo, is back open this morning and was shut down at Watertown Plank, but those delays should start to dissipate. Police investigating a double shooting early this morning at a downtown Milwaukee hospital.
An early morning shooting inside Aurora Sinai Medical Center near 12th and State leaves one man fighting for his life. Police were called around 2:15 a.m. Monday. A 40-year-old victim is hospitalized with life-threatening injuries. A second man, 38, is expected to survive. A 37-year-old suspect is in custody, and investigators say there is no active danger to the public. Aurora Healthcare says it partnered with police in response to the incident and confirms the medical center remains open. At Aurora Sinai Medical Center, Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
State utility regulators are ordering Alliant Energy to file a new application for custom data center electric rates. The Public Service Commission says the utility's original submission for the Meta data center, which is set for Beaver Dam, left out way too many details. Clean Wisconsin's Amy Barillo.
The proposed contract does not include clean energy or demand response requirements that would help lessen the environmental harms of the project. It doesn't guarantee long enough commitment to protect other customers.
Alliant's new application shows it will supply up to 220 megawatts to the data center campus for a term of 10 years, numbers which were both redacted in the original proposal. That was close. A save high above the ground in East Texas.
Fire officials in Longview, Texas say 2 people were trapped after their hot air balloon collided with a cell tower, leaving them dangling in the basket as it swung back and forth in the wind more than 900 feet up. First responders scaled the tower to reach them. Both were conscious and uninjured. It took crews 4 hours to lower them, little by little, to the ground. The rainbow-colored balloon was left hanging from the tower in tatters. A local construction company says the priority now is lowering that basket, which has a propane tank inside. They'll be bringing the balloon down piece by piece. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
News about your money, the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management market update. Everything in the red right now, but not down as much as they were. We have seen a bit of a rebound. The Dow is off about 157. The NASDAQ down 52, and the S&P is down 22. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Again, we anticipate hearing from the president on the war in Iran in the coming moments or so. If that begins before we get back for your traffic report, we will make sure to let you know. But otherwise, we will be back with sports, traffic, and weather in mere moments on News Radio WTMJ.
Frank Daniels, our Madison Goldsmith, has an idea.
Bring him in.
Hey, Rick. Hey, Sarah. Hi, Monica.
It's great to see you, Frank. What's your idea?
It's a new company policy.
Let's hear it.
You know the world-famous Kessler's warranty?
If you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed. It's just that simple. Even if you lose a diamond, including the center stone, we'll replace it. All maintenance is free forever. Yes, it really is that miraculous.
Every time I hear that warranty, it blows my mind.
I propose we have a jewelry cleaning policy that's as amazing as that warranty.
What would it say?
Bring us your jewelry and we will professionally clean it. While you wait, for free. You can come in as often as you want, and we don't care where you bought your jewelry. The only thing that matters is that you want it to look amazing again. We want that too.
I vote yes.
I vote yes. I vote yes. The motion carries. Congratulations, Frank. Your idea is now company policy.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hi, this is Michelle Voskel, CPA and team member at the Nail Group. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news? A rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS created by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $150,000 in taxes, because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a plan, clarity, and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Time for our WTMJ sports update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all sports desk. The Bucks have lost back-to-back games now, falling 120-97 to the Bulls on the road. Bucks back at it tonight against the Celtics right here on WTMJ Radio. Marquette men's basketball team could not secure a home win. Golden Eagles fall 62-51 to DePaul. Marquette will play its final road game of the season Wednesday against Providence. In women's college basketball, Wisconsin loses 81-52 at home to 9th-ranked Iowa. Marquette beat Providence 69-65. Tonight, Milwaukee hosts Detroit Mercy in the Horizon League Tournament play-in game for women's college basketball. The Brewers, meanwhile, bested in the desert. They lose 3-1 to the KC Royals in Cactus League play. The Brewers have a day off before they take on Great Britain's World Baseball Classic team on Tuesday. WTMJ time saver traffic. 94 eastbound, Highway 16 through the zoo and into downtown is looking pretty good at the moment, actually. Even through the construction, you shouldn't have too much trouble. We have been keeping our eye on 4145 northbound. It's been a slow go there. We've had an accident there. We did have the lanes blocked. So the northbound lanes through the zoo right now are very slow because you have squads dealing with a disabled vehicle there. Meanwhile, the full closure that was at Watertown Plank, that has since reopened. So we have good news. Everything is back open. However, we are dealing with these squads that are right there in the middle of the zoo interchange heading through there on 4145. You're going to notice that, and you'll have to get your way around it. As for the weather, sunny, a high of 39 today. Tonight, more clouds and a low of 30. For Tuesday, there is a chance for rain tomorrow, otherwise just cloudy, a high of 41. Wednesday, chance for rain later on in the day, a high of 44. Thursday, rain likely, a high of 46. Friday, again, rain likely, and a high on Friday of 58 degrees. Meanwhile, we are keeping our eye on the situation from the White House. We were anticipating hearing from President Trump regarding the war in Iran from over the weekend. He is set to take part in a Medal of Honor awards ceremony that has yet to begin. We expect it at any moment. If and when it begins, we'll bring it to you live right here on News Radio WTMJ.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scafidi and Kristin Brey.
Whew. Well, welcome to Monday after it feels like I'm a junior in high school again. And sitting in with me, so Steve is at least out of the country. Unclear if he has made it to Cairo. I know that he was going to fly to London, and there was conversations around whether or not he was going to be able to make it to Egypt, because obviously the airspace over a lot of the Middle East right now is closed. I am here, and Eric Bilstead has been kind enough to stay for another, after 4 hours of doing the news, you're sticking around with me as we wait to see Trump is going to address the nation. This is going to be the first live conversation in front of press, correct? Because so far what we've heard from him has been recorded videos.
Released videos, yes.
He is back in D.C.
Mm-hmm.
We heard from Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth this morning.
Yep.
So like I said, you've been doing the news for the last 4 hours. Get us up to speed as far as what has happened, I guess, since Saturday morning. What did you guys cover this morning as far as the most important things for people to know?
So as of right now, anyway, the president is set to speak at a Medal of Honor ceremony. So he's honoring 3 different Army soldiers for acts of gallantry. And that was already scheduled for today, but now we're being told by the networks that he is also going to address the situation. So that is before a group of people in the White House. In fact, if you want, I can even bring you the what it sounds like. That's it right there. So that's live video or live audio.
It does kind of feel like a joke from Veep of that this is the waiting music until we hear from the president about the controversial war that has been started since there's no congressional feedback on whether
is true.
Right?
This is
right?
true.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, so I guess what I would say to that is knowing that, and I bring up that music just for a point that he is going to be part of this ceremony. So because of that, we're unsure exactly what he's going to say and or when, but we are told that he's going to address the situation. So if and when it begins, we can take that and just have our ear on it to hear if he's going to address it from the get-go or near the end of this.
So speaking of, like I said, when we heard from the president over the weekend, it was a pre-recorded video that was released on social media. There was no addressing the press. It was not a live conference. Mm-hmm. Is that unusual? In your time of the 20 plus years you've been doing news, is that unusual way to address the nation for something that feels like a really big deal?
Yes, I think generally a commander-in-chief or even a mayor or governor or whatever it might be would not do it in that way, especially something of this magnitude. We have seen more of this over the years, which as a reporter, I'm not a big fan of, but it is something that it's not unprecedented to him. Again, I'm not defending it.
No,
but yes, it is unusual in this situation where we have what's happening overseas not to have a live announcement, a live address to the nation or something like that.
So as far as what we know so far, so as of this morning, 3 American military members, 4. It's been 4.
Have 4,
okay.
Yes. We had 3 that were hit by drone, another one that was later killed. We've had 3 downed, I'm military planes that were hit on accident by Kuwait. Those pilots were able to survive that. They were all parachuted out, so they survived that shooting. But we have that situation. We have Israel firing into Lebanon to go after Hezbollah, who's been firing back at Israel. So we have that situation. What's very unique about this is that Iran, after this all took place, started firing drones everywhere.
So I should preface this with it. My brother's stuck in the UAE.
Okay.
And so we woke up to not only the announcement that we struck Iran, but that my brother, who was supposed to fly out the day before, was complacent and did not. And so he was in Dubai. And so this has been a unique experience for our family.
I bet.
And he was going to join us on because he's safe. My brother's safe. And he was going to join us this morning now, basically. But he's going to join us later in the show at 11:30 to talk about his experience, because obviously we're waiting for the president now. But yeah, that was he started to see missiles get intercepted in Dubai, and then he saw the Fairmont Hotel get hit.
No kid. Oh, wow.
And so this has been a very humbling weekend as far as being very concerned for my brother's safety, but also a glimpse of what it is like to have family that lives in a place, not only just right now this weekend, but Ukraine, right? It's just like what it is to have loved ones in an area that at any point a bomb can hit. And, he has the resources he can't get out right now because the airspace is closed. He can't get a hold of the consulate. Like the emergency number for the embassy right now, he can't get anyone live on the phone. And I don't know why, but the reality of he's gotten out of Dubai, he's gotten to the other side of the peninsula, and he's trying to get to Oman to be able to figure out if he can fly out from there. But the reality of, being this concerned about my brother, obviously, but also realizing that some people just live in this constant fear, right? If you're Iranian and you live in the U.S., you constantly are fearing for your family's safety. If you're Palestinian, like there's just this reality of that. I think for me this weekend of realizing like some people just always live like this, of worrying about their family members.
It's interesting you point that out. We were speaking with Linda from CBS. She's a reporter out of Jerusalem, and she joined us an hour ago. And she pointed out that most people in Israel have some type of bomb shelter they can either go to, or it's part of their own home, right? Or in their apartment complex, or wherever they happen to be. But she was pointing out that a lot of the other areas in this region may not have that. So when Iran started just firing off drones to its neighbors, that caught a lot of folks off guard. In fact, there were, and I want to say it was a Middle Eastern official told CNN that was a gross miscalculation by Iran, because now it's not making any friends right now at this moment when it's firing missiles off to everyone around it.
Yes. And that was, as my brother was telling me, I was like, what is the strategy behind this? As far as having any friends in the area to come to your aid as this is happening.
Right. Well, so then the other question is, Ian, one of the issues that you're seeing from critics and others this morning is, what is the end game? With the Supreme Leader gone, you're not going to see many people saddened that he's gone, right? There's no love lost for the fact that he's no longer here. The question now is...
I mean,
oh,
right,
sure. I'm sorry. You're right. Of course.
Obviously, there's some... We're seeing some protests around the world of people who are
You're right. I'm
grieving.
Right.
But there's obviously then a lot of people who are very much celebrating.
Yeah, and then the bigger question is, okay, where does it go from here? And that's maybe something we'll hear from the president.
Yeah. Let's take a break really quickly as we wait to hear if we have an update on when the president will address the nation. I am Kristin Brey. Eric Bilstead is sitting in with me as we bring you the news for this. Are we calling it a historic Monday morning?
Sure. History's being made, right?
Yeah. This is Point Take It.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi for Advent. I had snoring issues, right? Kept my wife, Kathy, up many nights, too many nights. Probably woke myself up a lot more than I realized. Poor sleep, tossing and turning, tired mornings. Kristin would say grouchy mornings on the radio. But I did something about it, which is me, action plan guy. I went to Advent as a customer and a client, 30-minute visit. They walked me through my issues, answered my questions, added a really simple sleep study at home, determined my problem, sinuses, nasal passage in my breathing triangle. After a short procedure, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, breathing better than ever, 5.5 years ago. Now I sleep through the whole night. That's worth the price of admission. If you struggle like I used to, take the time to see how Advent can help you. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to AdventKnows.com. AdventKnows.com. Schedule an appointment today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
It's Mike with Infinity Exteriors. I've seen it all, Wisconsin. Sketchy sales gimmicks for low-quality windows, siding that costs more than a new home, fly-by-night roofers. 60,000 happy customers made a better choice. Infinity Exteriors roofing, siding, and windows all come with our lifetime workmanship warranty, no overcharges, and transparent pricing. At Infinity Exteriors, we're on a mission to save our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
Parents can expect to use 2,500 to 3,000 diapers in a baby's first year. The Milwaukee Diaper Mission has distributed over 1.4 million diapers and other supplies for families just last year alone. This is WTMJ's Kristin Brey. Join me for WTMJ Cares Bowling for Babies, where we will raise funds for Milwaukee Diaper Mission. You can be part of it. Text BABY to the WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620, to support our WTMJ Cares effort. Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. Eric Bilstead is sitting in with me as any moment Trump is going to address the nation about the current status of our war with Iran. Obviously, we're keeping up to date with all of the news as it breaks, since as of 2 days ago, the United States and Israel launched strikes on Iran that killed the Supreme Leader and approximately 40 other senior leaders. As of right now, 4 American military members have been killed. As of before the show, I saw that at least 11 people have been killed in strikes in Israel. 3 people had been killed in the UAE, and in Iran, I don't know if the total has gotten higher, but it's 555 people, including 165 students at an all-girls school.
So for those who are reading the tea leaves on this, they anticipated that this might be happening on Saturday. There was some potential, and obviously some people read the tea leaves and they're wrong, but in this case, there were some that were prognosticating that this was going to happen. Did your brother, and where is he at? UAE?
So he was in Dubai. So he's working on a new project, new business deal. This is the thing that's ironic about my brother. He was also in Colombia over New Year's when Maduro was taken. So he's had, I'm sure he'll talk about this later in the show when he joins us. He said no less than 3 people ask him, I think in all seriousness, are you actually part of the CIA? Like, what are the chances that you would be in both regions this year. And so he was in Dubai for business.
Did he catch wind of it though? Like, was there a change in tone or anything like that?
I feel like, and it's because he's an analyst. Like, he's an analyst. He works in markets. He works in finance. And so he's usually pretty up to speed as far as whatever, public available information on X and stuff that's getting distributed. And I'll have to ask him, like, how much did you know, and how much were you just arrogant?
Right.
Right. And I think that is sometimes a thing.
Oh, sure.
We just assume so much when you are born, when you've lived a life of a lot of convenience and I think there's a lot of Americans who, like I said before, we don't know what it's like to live in a war-torn country. We don't know if you don't have friends or family members who live work in the military. There is kind of this existence that you don't always have your head on a swivel,
right?
Because you haven't had to. And I would say both my brother and I are probably the kind of people that are like, what could go wrong? And so he has had his eyes opened these last 24 hours.
So we were anticipating hearing from the president at 10 a.m. Obviously, it's past that now. And part of this was he's scheduled to be part of this Medal of Honor ceremony. 3 soldiers for acts of gallantry, one in Vietnam, one in Germany, and one in Afghanistan. That was set to begin at 10 a.m. And we've seen the live coverage there. We've seen the people are kind of milling about. There's a lot of folks there for it. It's not like it's just a news conference type. And then this is how it was sounding earlier. So we still have, it sounds quieter. Before we heard more crowds, so they might be taking their seats. But so far, nothing to suggest that this is going to start anytime soon. But the reason I bring it up is because the networks had told us that, hey, heads up, he is going to address the Iran situation. So clearly someone at the White House told the networks, hey, he will mention this in some fashion. We don't know what that means, how long, if it's going to be detailed. We did hear from the Pentagon earlier
I was going to say, keep us up to date as far as what Pete Hegseth said this morning.
So earlier this morning, we heard from Pete Hegseth and we heard from the Joint Chiefs of Staff chairman. And here's a little bit from Hegseth. Oops, hold on. I want to get that music out of the way there and bring it back to you. Sorry. In my ear, I have music playing from the White House. Okay, here is Pete Hegseth from earlier.
President Trump ensures that our enemies understand we'll go as far as we need to go to advance American interests. But we're not dumb about it. You don't have to roll 200,000 people in there and stay for 20 years.
So that's Hegseth saying that he does not believe there's any timeline that would expect this to be long-term. There is no timeline, but they do not believe this is going to be a long-term situation. At least that's what they are saying. Now, a little bit more from the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the Chairman Dan Kane, who also spoke from the Pentagon. He did say, yes, we've lost 4 U.S. soldiers so far.
We expect to take additional losses, and as always, we will work to minimize U.S. losses.
That's Dan Kane, but what Kane also did say is that you can't just do this in a snap of a finger. It's going to take some time.
This is not a single overnight operation. The military objectives that CENTCOM and the Joint Force have been tasked with will take some time to achieve, and in some cases will be difficult and gritty work.
So he says they are prepared for a, quote, long war. So we're hearing from the president and from Hegseth saying that they don't anticipate this will take years and years. Dan Kane is saying, well, we have to be prepared for anything, and it could be weeks, months, longer than that.
And what is success? Have they outlined what success looks like?
Great question, because as of now, we are told that they are talking with leaders of Iran, some of the that have survived, and that there's an actual conversation taking place. However, Hegseth said that this is not about a regime change, that's not their focus. Their focus
Trump
was...
said Trump encouraged Iranian people to pursue a regime change, but
correct,
that's not our goal.
But Hegseth said that that's not what they're doing. They're there to eliminate the threat that was at hand. So, there's a little bit of a back and forth there as to the messaging, I think. But we've also heard from the president, at least telling CNN and others, that he expects another big wave to come. So I don't know if that is a forewarning to Iran to get them to listen to them as far as negotiating or what, but he has told CNN this morning that he expects another wave of military action.
Okay, let's take another break as we wait for Trump to address the nation. This is Point Taken.
The historic Fox and Hounds is one of the most beautiful and affordable supper clubs in Wisconsin. WTMJ's John Mercure here, and it's my very favorite. Every night, when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free. Choice steaks, honey glazed salmon, pan-fried walleye, pasta, seafood, even the steak and lobster. How about ribs? Any entree, dessert, and ice cream drink are all buy one, get one free. Celebrate a birthday, your anniversary, a retirement, or just a quiet dinner with your sweetie and get a free dinner. Have your employee appreciation dinner. How about a wedding reception, rehearsal, or family reunion dinner at the Fox and Hounds? Half of those dinners are free. Right in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest, the views are spectacular. The dining rooms are gorgeous. Gift cards make perfect year-round gifts. Everyone loves a free dinner. Google and order online. Your gift cards will arrive shortly. Reserve your corporate or family dinner, wedding shower, or rehearsal dinner today. Half your dinners are free every night at the award-winning Fox and Hounds.
All types of injury lawyers advertise. Cartoon lawyers, bobblehead lawyers, and folks chasing ambulances with text messages. Our clients don't want or need such lawyers. Our clients know, like, and trust that Pasternak and Zergabel will help in their time of need. I'm Frank Pasternak of Pasternak and Zergabel. Jeff Zergabel and I are excellent personal injury lawyers in our community. If you need help after an injury, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
Your home can be more maintenance-free when you rely on J&B.
This is Tom Feza. When I have a roofing question, I contact Scott Klein, owner of J&B Construction, provider of high-quality exterior home improvement products and services since 1958.
Thanks, Tom. Between the two of us, we've seen hundreds of failed roofs, along with the unfortunate consequences of water damage. Poor workmanship, improper product usage, lack of ventilation, inferior flashing detail, and loss of control due to subcontractors are some of the most common reasons for roofs failing. At J&B, our objective is not just to sell another roof. We want to educate our clients. When J&B's experienced sales staff achieves that goal, our roof systems sell themselves.
For a complimentary roof evaluation, call Scott at 262-437-0537 or visit jnbconstruction.com.
Your home can be more maintenance-free when you rely on J&B.
Are you hosting an event, launching something new, wanting to get the word out about your part of the state? Be a featured guest on the WTMJ Experience Wisconsin show. Share your story, promote your event or business, and connect with fans all across the state. I'm John Mercure. I'd love to interview you. We reach listeners from Milwaukee to Madison, Green Bay to La Crosse, everywhere in between. It's Experience Wisconsin. Ready to shine a spotlight on your business or company? Email me, john@wtmj.com for more information. john@wtmj.com.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. Someone asked, is Steve still on his way to Cairo? And I think he is. I know that there was concerns as he was supposed to fly out yesterday, but it was flying to London and then to Egypt, and no issue getting to London. The question was, would they still be getting to Egypt? So I actually just texted him because I had not heard. He's been a little busy, so I've not heard from him yet.
Sure.
But he is gone, I think, for 2 weeks, unless the whole trip gets canceled. Wow. But it's just, this is. I mean, I know there a lot of people were commenting on this over the weekend. Of just the last 9 weeks has really been turbulent.
Yeah,
and I don't even know if that is the right word to use, the appropriate or accurate word to use.
Still got a partial government shutdown going on. There's still Epstein depositions taking place this week.
Venezuela. Yep. I mean, and the other thing that is horrific is the violence that happened in America over the weekend. There was another mass shooting in Austin. I know there was an issue. Was it in Cincinnati and D.C.?
They believe the Austin one may have been connected to what's happening in Iran.
And, you know, the conversation that we're going to start having about sleeper cells and yeah. So this is a story that is playing out all over the world. But for now, let's go to the news, and as soon as Trump is ready to address the nation, we will get to that live. But this is Point Taken. Eric Bilstad, thank you for sitting in with me this morning. I am Kristin Brey, and here is ABC.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Trump getting ready to talk about the U.S.-Israeli airstrikes on Iran from the White House as he awards the Congressional Medal of Honor at a ceremony taking place today. Earlier today, the top official at the Pentagon said the war in Iran will not be like the one in Iraq. Here's ABC's Stephen Portnoy.
At his first briefing on the strikes, the defense secretary described the joint U.S.-Israeli mission as one of retribution against the Iranian regime.
We didn't start this war, but under President Trump, we are finishing it.
Pete Hegseth shrugged off questions about how long the war might last, even as President Trump tells reporters he's expecting 4 to 5 weeks. Hegseth insists the effort won't be endless.
We're not dumb about it. You don't have to roll 200,000 people in there and stay for 20 years.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Effects of the conflict on your money. The price of oil is rising. Stocks are falling. They were down more than 500 points when the bell sounded, and they've been rising slowly. The Dow now down 140. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 10:31 from the WTMJ Breaking News Center. I'm Eric Bilstead. Police investigating a double shooting in downtown Milwaukee at a hospital.
An early morning shooting inside Aurora Sinai Medical Center near 12th and State leaves one man fighting for his life. Police were called around 2:15 a.m. Monday. A 40-year-old victim is hospitalized with life-threatening injuries. A second man, 38, is expected to survive. A 37-year-old suspect is in custody, and investigators say there is no active danger to the public. Aurora Healthcare says it partnered with police in response to the incident and confirms the medical center remains open. At Aurora Sinai Medical Center, Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Fire crews in Brookfield continue to investigate what may have started a deadly fire in a house there over the weekend. This happened on Brookdale Drive. 2 people killed along with a dog. Some police officers also taken to the hospital with injuries. State utility regulators are ordering Alliant Energy to file a new application for custom data center electric rates. The Public Service Commission says the utility's original submission for the Meta data center campus in Beaver Dam left too many details out. Clean Wisconsin's Amy Barrio.
The proposed contract does not include clean energy or demand response requirements that would help lessen the environmental harms of the project. It doesn't guarantee long enough commitment to protect other customers.
Alliant's new application shows it will supply up to 220 megawatts to the data center campus for a term of 10 years. Those numbers were redacted in the original proposal. Drivers in Wisconsin for a Walmart delivery service are getting financial relief from a multi-state settlement.
Attorney General Josh Call says Walmart and its delivery service Spark Driver will be paying over $600,000 to Wisconsin as part of the settlement. The big box retailer is accused of withholding tips from the delivery drivers and changing pay after orders were accepted. Wisconsin was one of 11 states, along with the Federal Trade Commission, that sued Walmart. In total, the settlement is for $100 million. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Time now for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. All 3 indices still down at the moment, although better than before when the bell rang. The Dow is off 283. It's about 0.5%. NASDAQ is down 67, and the S&P is off 32. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. We had issues earlier on 4145 north of the zoo. All of that has been cleared up for the most part, so you shouldn't have any issue, no congestion in that spot. There was a full closure at one point, and then we had an accident in the middle roadway there right by the zoo, but all that's been cleared, so you're in good shape there. 94 eastbound, Highway 16 through the zoo and into downtown is also clear, so that should take you pretty much, you're on time. Maybe a little slow down through the construction through the stadium, but otherwise, no problems. As far as your forecast here, the WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny today, a high of 39. Tonight, more clouds, a low of 30. For your Tuesday, there is a chance for rain tomorrow, high of 41. Wednesday, partly cloudy, another chance for afternoon rain on Wednesday, a high of 44. Thursday, rain again likely, 46. Friday, rain likely, and a high of 58 on Friday. Right now, it's 10:35 on News Radio, WTMJ.
$1 doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee and Waukesha. Griffin. The buck stops here, but the deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
At Og Prep North, we know the only way to build the future is on the foundation of excellence and faith. Og Prep North, built for academic, artistic, and athletic excellence. Made for more. Learn more at ogprep.org.
James Imaging Systems, a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company. James' client, Amy Simonson, IT administrator with Professional Services Group.
We have several locations throughout southeastern Wisconsin. Having them all under one company has been very helpful.
Big or small, one location or several, James Imaging Systems is your one-stop business technology resource.
And they are on top of everything. When we have a problem, it's answered right away.
James Imaging Systems, IT-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation, and unrivaled local service and support.
And they're always looking for what else can we do? What else do you need? So they want our company to succeed as well as their own.
Let James Imaging Systems help your business succeed. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. Steve, I think, might be en route because I just texted him and I have not gotten the little delivered sign. So he might be in a plane as of right now.
So that plane would take him to London?
No, he's already, I think he's already in
London. Been to Cairo.
Yeah. So,
wow, okay.
So it seems like maybe that is far enough away from where the airspace is closed that it will be fine. Unlike, I know I teased this on my social media before the show started today that my brother's going to join us, and he's going to join us later in the show, but he's going to join us right out the bat because he is stuck in the UAE where the airspace is definitely closed and cannot get out at the moment. But so he'll join us later in the show. We are still waiting for Trump to address the nation. This is going to be his first live address with staff and with. I'm assuming he's going to be able to take questions.
See, I don't know that for sure because this is happening. This is it. You can hear that's our mic in the room.
We see Susie. We have the news on right now as far as the Chiron says any moment Trump to address war with Iran. I see Susie Wiles has entered the room. So maybe we're getting started soon.
It could be closer. And this is for a Medal of Honor ceremony. So does he make the comments before or after? Obviously, we'll have to monitor, but there are 3 gentlemen receiving a Medal of Honor. So with that in place, it would appear that they're getting closer to that.
Yeah.
We're seeing Pete Hegseth is in the room now, so you would anticipate that would indicate
the door,
they're getting closer.
So it seems like as though he might be walking through it any minute. Before we cut to that, did you and Vince talk much this morning as far as different nations' response to this weekend? Different people in the different nations in the EU, some of our allies.
The UK wasn't happy about it at first, but now has reluctantly, it said, it is offering up services if needed. To certain, I'm paraphrasing, but Germany has said it would continue to monitor. Obviously, we have a base in Germany, so that would likely play a role, perhaps in some fashion, if necessary, given that we already have a pretty giant armada right there.
Well, wasn't it the UK's? Wasn't that why we have so many of our ships in the vicinity because they weren't being able? Like UK was like, you can't put them here.
Oh, so they moved them. That could be
initially.
Well, they very well could be, and that may have been where this is coming from. I know that the Prime Minister said that he was very disappointed.
Okay.
At first, I think he told that to the Daily Telegraph that he was disappointed, and then he was not going to allow Washington to use UK-run military bases, but now he has since relented on that.
Okay.
At least partially. So he's allowing the U.S. access for some defensive missions, he says, only. So eventually, at some point, you're going to defer to the U.S. military if they're asking for a little bit of help, and it would appear that that's what happened in this case. Germany, same thing, is keeping an eye on it. What's interesting is what happens now when some of these countries get hit, and Iran has done that. It's fired off on some of these other countries. So how are they all going to react? The Jordans, these types that that are kind of caught in this now. And like we were talking about it earlier, it does not appear anyway that they're making friends right now. And what I mean by that is Iran, by shooting drones elsewhere, could be causing more trouble for itself than actually helping its cause. This is still the White House as they appear to be getting set, but we're seeing cameras are on, phones are ready. Everyone's focused on the door where you would assume your Medal of Honor recipients will come out along with the president, and that's when you would expect the statements to be made. I wouldn't expect him to break any real news here, and what I mean by that is I don't think he's going to say, okay, we have a new leadership in place, and here's how long we're going to be there, and nothing else is going to happen. If anything, he'll probably celebrate what the White House says are the wins of the weekend, would be my guess. But as far as future strategies or beliefs on what's happening next, I wouldn't anticipate that's going to happen in the next few moments when he comes out.
This music is it's throwing me for a loop as far as how it's very calming.
Well, and the reason is because this is a ceremonial thing. There's friends and family there of these recipients, right? So this isn't, and this happens a lot, not quite like this, but where you will have a ceremony or a president or a governor or someone who's appearing at an event that's more of a ceremonial type thing, but then also having to address something more breaking. Like that's, in this case, it would appear that that's what he's going to do. Again, this was scheduled all along, and we've been told that he is going to address Iran in it. Doesn't mean it's going to be a 10-minute conversation. Doesn't mean it's going to be a 60-minute conversation. It really depends on the president.
Well, and it also goes back to the question as far as since it's a ceremony for something else, the opportunity for any of the reporters who are there to ask follow-up questions versus...
It definitely protects him.
Right. It's versus statements made and then moving on to the planned ceremony.
Because there are a lot of questions about that, about strategy and what's the end game and what's the plan
and Congress's
here.
Role, right? This is a pretty big question as far as what, if any, what is Congress doing or what will they do? Because if this is a war, pretty sure that's one of the things Congress is supposed to be responsible for.
So Congress is expected to hear from the White House in the next day or so on the matter. And things could change, obviously, very quickly. And that doesn't necessarily mean Congress is going to do something specific, but they are expected to hear from the White House, I'd say, in the next, we believe we had heard Tuesday for some kind of commentary.
All right. I think we're getting very close. Let's take another commercial break, and hopefully when we come back, President Trump will be live. This is Point Taken.
Hey, it's WTMJ's Steve Scavini for Annex Wealth Management. With tax filing season here, staying organized can feel overwhelming. But having a trusted partner like Annex to help you navigate those changes and apply possible retroactive tax moves can make a meaningful difference. What made sense a year ago might need a second look now. Job changes, retirement, health, or just life. At Annex Wealth Management, personalized guidance begins with understanding your unique situation and goals. Whether it's investment management, tax planning strategies, or preparing for retirement, their team can help you make informed decisions with confidence that have the best interest for you or your business in mind. As a fee-only fiduciary, Annex is committed to putting clients' interests first with goal-focused, non-commissioned strategy. Their great team of professionals, including CFPs, CFAs, CPAs, PhDs, wealth strategists, and attorneys, they got them all, brings broad expertise to every aspect of your financial plan, all under one roof. Are you happy with your current plan? Is your strategy aligned for the future? Annex Wealth Management can provide clarity and direction. Know the difference. Visit AnnexWealth.com and click the now famous Get Started button.
This is former Wisconsin Attorney General J.B. Van Hollen with a message for my fellow conservatives about online sports betting. Online sports betting is fun. It protects kids against illegal gambling websites, and it generates billions in tax revenue. But today, Madison politicians are considering a secret deal that could give exclusive control of sports betting to one Indian tribe. One Indian tribe making the majority of all the revenue? Our Constitution requires a vote of the people on expanded sports betting, but Madison insiders want secrecy. What's worse, their plan could leave Governor Evers the sole power to negotiate with the tribes. Madison politicians want to bypass our state constitution, and it could mean less accountability with control concentrated with one Indian tribe. Tell Madison No secret deal on online sports betting. Paid for by Sports Betting Alliance.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday, scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Keep the comfort in and the weather out with beautiful new windows and doors from Siding Unlimited. For ideas, go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page. For a free estimate and honest price guarantee, go to sidingunlimited.com.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. Steve is out. He's made it to Cairo. I got confirmation.
Oh, good.
He has made it to Cairo.
Okay.
So clearly cleared, being safe. So kind of in the vicinity, not too close to the vicinity that his trip got canceled. But that is the voice of Eric Bilstead, who is sitting with me this morning as we wait for President Trump to address the nation. It sounds like we're hearing Hail to the Chief, and so he is walking in. Do we know what room they're in at the White House?
I think they're in the East Room at the moment. We are going to hear from the president here shortly. I believe a prayer is taking place at the moment. But the president, what he's doing right now, this isn't addressed to the nation like you would see that you envision from the Oval Office or anything like this. What this is in the East Room, and it's a ceremony where it's a Medal of Honor ceremony. So this had already been scheduled. So we would anticipate that before he actually gives that, gives the medals or awards the medals, that he will speak about what's happening in Iran. We've been told that's what he is intending on doing. He'll address the war. So right now, I think they're wrapping up a prayer that we didn't necessarily want to dip into halfway through just out of respect to that. But eventually, he will take the mic, and when he does, we'll take it live right here.
Absolutely. And so we can see that he's in the room, he's praying. Everyone seems to be standing and at address. And as I'm assuming he's taking the stage next.
Well, we'll find out here shortly. Well, why don't we do this, Jazz? Do you mind that we just bring that audio up and we'll just catch the end as he speaks? This is, I don't have the commander's name, speaking at the moment from the podium. President Trump is flanking him. It's a group. Lots of people, friends and family, we would assume, and other cabinet members are on hand as well, including Pete Hegseth, as we hear from the president.
Wonderful job. Appreciate it. And thank everybody for being here, and please feel free to sit. So before we begin this important ceremony, and there's no ceremony that can be much more important than this, let me provide a brief update on Operation Epic Fury. Today, the United States military continues to carry out large-scale combat operations in Iran to eliminate the grave threats posed to America by this terrible terrorist regime. Following our obliteration of Iran's nuclear program in Operation Midnight Hammer a short while ago, we warned Iran not to make any attempt to rebuild at a different location because they were unable to use the ones that we so powerfully blew up. But they ignored those warnings and refused to cease their pursuit of nuclear weapons. In addition, the regime's conventional ballistic missile program was growing rapidly and dramatically, and this posed a very clear, colossal threat to America and our forces stationed overseas. The regime already had missiles capable of hitting Europe and our bases, both local and overseas, and would soon have had missiles capable of reaching our beautiful America. The purpose of this fast-growing missile program was to shield their nuclear weapon development and make it extraordinarily difficult for anyone to stop them from making these highly forbidden by us nuclear weapons. We were the ones that were complaining. We were the ones that wanted it stopped. But everybody was behind us. They just didn't have the courage to say so. An Iranian regime armed with long-range missiles and nuclear weapons would be an intolerable threat to the Middle East, but also to the American people. Our country itself would be under threat, and it was very nearly under threat. I was very proud to have knocked out the Iran nuclear deal by President Barack Hussein Obama. That was a horrible, horrible, dangerous document. They would have had nuclear weapons 3 years ago, and they would have used them. But I'll not let that happen. For almost 47 years, this regime has been attacking the United States and killing Americans. Every time you see someone with missing arms and legs or a face that's been absolutely shattered violently, it was almost certainly caused by an Iran roadside bomb. They were put there by General Soleimani, who was the father of the roadside bomb. Very proudly, he thought, but I terminated him in my first term. This was our last best chance to strike what we're doing right now and eliminate the intolerable threats posed by this sick and sinister regime. And they are indeed sick and sinister. Our objectives are clear. First, we're destroying Iran's missile capabilities, and you see that happening on an hourly basis, and their capacity to produce brand new ones, and pretty good ones they make. Second, we're annihilating their Navy. We've knocked out already 10 ships. They're at the bottom of the sea. Third, we're ensuring that the world's #1 sponsor of terror can never obtain a nuclear weapon, never going to have a nuclear weapon. I said that from the beginning. They're never going to have a nuclear weapon. They were on the road to getting one legitimately through a deal that was signed foolishly by our country. And finally, we're ensuring that the Iranian regime cannot continue to arm, fund, and direct terrorist armies outside of their borders. And we thought we had a deal, but then they backed out. And they came back, and we thought we had a deal, and they backed out. I said, you can't deal with these people. You've got to do it the right way. Today, we grieve for the 4 heroic American service members who have been killed in action and send our love and support to their families. In their memory, we continue this mission with ferocious, unyielding resolve to crush the threat this terrorist regime poses to the American people, and a threat indeed it is. We have the strongest and most powerful by far military in the world, and we will easily prevail. We're already substantially ahead of our time projections, but whatever the time is, it's okay. Whatever it takes, we will always, and we have right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks, but we have capability to go far longer than that. We'll do it. Whatever somebody said today, they said, oh, well, the president wants to do it really quickly. After that, he'll get bored. I don't get bored. There's nothing boring about this. Do you agree with that, Pete? I don't think there's anything, Mr. General. I think there's nothing boring about it. Somebody actually said from the media, I think he'll get bored after about a week or two. No, we don't get bored. I never get bored. If I got bored, I wouldn't be standing here right now. I guarantee you that, to go through what I had to go through. We also projected 4 weeks to terminate the military leadership, and as you know, that was done in about an hour, so we're ahead of schedule there by a lot. But please join me in thanking every American service member who bravely is standing in harm's way. They really are incredible, and I just want to thank you. We have a lot of them right here. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. We have a lot of great service members here with us, too, in this beautiful building. Isn't it beautiful? We're adding on to the building a little bit. We're improving the building. See that nice drape? When that comes down, right now you see a very, very deep hole. But in about a year and a half from now, you're going to see a very, very beautiful building. And there's your entrance to it right there. In fact, it looks so nice, I think I'll save money on the doors, because it can't get more beautiful than that. I picked those drapes in my first term. I always like gold, but I think we can save a lot of money. I just saved curtains. But, and it'll be spectacular. It'll be the most beautiful ballroom. I believe it, because I built many a ballroom. I believe it's going to be the most beautiful ballroom anywhere in the world. And when you hear all that hammering out there, you know why the First Lady is not thrilled exactly. She said, will the pile drivers ever stop? You know, they go from 6 in the morning till 11:30 in the evening. Can you imagine? Here? You know what? To me, that's a beautiful sound. She doesn't like it. I love it. You know what? To me, other than here, because we're donating it, not a penny to the taxpayer. It'll be under budget, ahead of schedule. It'll be $400 million or less. Most people say $400 million or more. No, it'll be less. But when I hear that sound, that beautiful sound behind me, it means money, so I like it. But my wife isn't thrilled. She said, this is getting crazy. I said, don't worry about it. We'll be all finished up in a few months. But now, for the reason that we're gathered this morning to recognize the unsurpassed courage.
You're listening to News Radio
really
WTMJ. President Trump addressing the Iran war before a Medal of Honor ceremony taking place in the East Room. He said that the U.S. will prevail. He also said that everyone was behind the U.S. in this. They just didn't have the courage to say so, and accused Iran of building up a missile program that was being used to shield its nuclear weapons program.
He also said that we have resolved to crush the threat and whatever it takes, and it's expected to be 4 to 5 weeks, but we have the capability to go far longer.
And now he's moving on to the Medal of Honor ceremony, so we'll give you your show back. Wanted to make sure we got the first words there from
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your spending this first hour with me, Eric. As we have more information, the top of the hour, bottom of the hour news, we obviously will continue to keep you up to date with anything that comes from this address. But that was the president addressing the country live for the first time since the strikes Saturday morning. And for now, we will go to the top of the hour news and come back with more Point Taken after that.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. 414-667-5559.
Since 1956, the Adair name has stood for craftsmanship, honesty, and taking care of people the right way. I'm Austin Adair.
And I'm Chelsea.
My grandparents started this company with nothing but hard work and pride in every single job. My parents carried that legacy forward, and today, my wife and I are proud to continue it as third generation of Adair Floors and Remodeling. This isn't just a business to us. It is our family name, our reputation, and our promise to you. At Adair Floors and Remodeling, we help homeowners upgrade with confidence. Whether you need luxury vinyl plank, hardwood, carpet, tile, or a full remodel, our team handles everything from design to installation. Quality products, professional crews, clear communication, and results you'll love. That's what 3 generations have built and what we stand behind every single day. Visit Adair Floors and Remodeling today at our large showroom located in Franklin, or give us a call at 414-761-3660 for a free estimate. Adair Floors and Remodeling. 3 generations, 1 standard.
Everyone needs a plumber in their contacts list. And I've got yours, Vince Vitrano here. It's Horner Plumbing. We had a big job on the Vitrano home, needed to move the water hookups for the washer-dryer and refrigerator, and we turned to the trusted experts for more than 50 years in Southeast Wisconsin, Horner Plumbing. CJ and Kaylee, they did a great job at the house. All the follow-up with Horner was amazing, great work, and outstanding customer service. Residential, commercial, and new construction, HornerPlumbing.com. Have it in your contact list because when it's a plumbing emergency, that is not the time you want to start your search. I've got your plumber. Full-service plumbing, water heater repairs and installs, drain cleaning, garbage disposals, bathroom and kitchen renovations. Full-service plumbing. Free quotes and upfront pricing means no surprises. You want a deal? Tell them Vinny sent you, and Horner Plumbing will knock $50 off that first service. Get started now at Horner Plumbing. That's HornerPlumbing.com.
They need all the luck of the Irish. All we need is
KPJ. Kevin Porter Jr. wiggles free in the corner, hits the three and draws the foul.
the Bucks take on the Celtics at Fiserv Forum.
Porter stuffs it down with one hand and shrugs his shoulder after the fact.
Our Bucks Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6 on the home of the Bucks, 620 WTMJ Milwaukee.
11:01, we have 35 degrees, sunny today with a high of 39. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. President Trump just a few moments ago says Iran ignored warnings from the U.S. about going forward with its nuclear program before the launch of Operation Epic Fury. Speaking at the White House today, Trump said Iran has been hostile toward the U.S. for decades. He said the current operation's meant to destroy Iran's ballistic missile capabilities and make sure they can never obtain a nuclear weapon. Meanwhile, across Israel, many beginning to shelter in place as Iran continues its retaliatory strikes against the country. Days after that joint U.S.-Israel strike, ABC's Jordana Miller is in Jerusalem.
We've been in and out of the bomb shelters since the operation kicked off on Saturday. The Iranians have been firing on Israel every few hours.
The FBI continues their investigation into a mass shooting in Austin, Texas early Sunday morning that they believe could have been triggered by the U.S.-led strikes on Iran. ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas explains.
Sources tell me that in addition to wearing a T-shirt with the Iranian flag, the FBI has also recovered evidence suggesting that the suspects supported Iranian leadership and the regime's ideology. If true, this is precisely the kind of assault that U.S. law enforcement is most worried about at this time.
The suspect entered the U.S. from Senegal March 13, 2000 on a B-2 tourist visa, became a lawful permanent resident after marrying a U.S. citizen he naturalized in April of 2013. Here, police investigating a double shooting early this morning inside a downtown Milwaukee hospital.
An early morning shooting inside Aurora Sinai Medical Center near 12th and State leaves one man fighting for his life. Police were called around 2:15 a.m. Monday. A 40-year-old victim is hospitalized with life-threatening injuries. A second man, 38, is expected to survive. A 37-year-old suspect is in custody, and investigators say there is no active danger to the public. Aurora Healthcare says it partnered with police in response to the incident and confirms the medical center remains open. At Aurora Sinai Medical Center, Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Some voters in Milwaukee will have a new polling location starting next month.
The Milwaukee Election Commission announcing 7 new polling locations that will be activated for the April 7th election. The changes will impact 14 wards across 6 aldermanic districts and around 9,200 registered voters. Those impacted will receive a postcard at least 30 days before next month's election with their new polling location information. You can also find the changes on our website, WTMJ.com. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down 84 points. The NASDAQ is up 67. S&P 500 down 3. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth. Annex Private Client. Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time 11:04.
Amy Simonson is the IT administrator with Professional Services Group. They had business technology from a not-so-supportive vendor. Not anymore. They switched to James Imaging Systems.
They come in as a partner. They want to help you. They want to make your business successful.
Including your James Imaging Systems sales representative.
He's always there when I need him. It's always like, what can I do to help you?
James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner with great people and more value.
The value you is we have the right equipment in the right place. We're getting reliable, consistent service when we need it.
Amy, your advice for other Wisconsin businesses?
I would definitely say contact James Imaging. They are very helpful and knowledgeable and will put you in the right place.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation. Call 262-781-7700, 262-781-7700, or visit jamesimaging.com.
Wisconsin weather doesn't wait, and neither should you. At Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, we make upgrading your home simple. Right now, order today and get 0% interest until 2032. You heard me right. 0% interest all the way until 2032. Upgrade your windows and doors now and pay over time without paying interest. With our 10-year limited warranty, you can feel confident in your investment. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. It's 3/31/2026.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests.
That's WTMJ.com/contests.
Staples has hot deals and low prices on everything for your business, like up to $125 off your print order. Ends 4/18. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Sports update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Bucks have lost back-to-back games. Milwaukee falling 120-97 to the Chicago Bulls on the road. The Bucks will be back home tonight to take on the Boston Celtics. The Marquette men's basketball team could not secure a home win. Golden Eagles lost 62-51 to DePaul. Marquette will play its final road game of the season Wednesday against Providence. In women's college ball, Wisconsin lost 81-52 at home to 9th-ranked Iowa. Marquette beat Providence 69-65 on the road. Tonight, Milwaukee will host Detroit Mercy in the Horizon League Tournament play-in game. Badger Sports Update, sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding, and a whole lot more. Milwaukee Brewers bested in the desert. Milwaukee lost 3-1 to the Royals in Cactus League action. The Brewers have the day off before taking on Great Britain World Baseball Classic team on Tuesday. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I-41 northbound at Watertown Plank Road. It looks like all lanes are now open. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny today with a high 39. Increasing cloudiness tonight, low 30. Chance of rain tomorrow, high 41. Chance of rain Wednesday afternoon after a high of 44. Rain likely Thursday and Friday. Thursday's high 46. Friday's high 58 degrees. Right now 35 in Madison, Green Bay, and Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:08.
The work week is here. Let's begin with your Monday market preview with Annex Wealth Management CEO Dave Spano on Point Taken.
Good morning, Dave Spano.
Good morning. How are you?
We're waiting for the last hour for President Trump to address the nation. So we finally heard from him, and now we can actually do our show.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, I missed it. Did you run it?
We did run it. So
yeah.
I think he got on around 11:49.
Yeah.
11:48.
But it was just a few minutes.
10:49.
Yeah.
It was just a couple minutes. And Eric Bilstad sat in with me, and we recapped what he said. He's still talking, but obviously now it's moved on to the Medal of Honor ceremony that was already planned.
Right.
And so I will get your immediate reactions, I guess, both as your professional reactions as far as what this does to the markets and oil prices, but also any personal reactions you have to the news of the last 48 hours.
Well, there's been so much, but even this last 15 minutes or so, it was just a few minutes, talked about why the United States went there, and then, of course, he transitioned really quickly to the construction of the new ballroom. So, so that was a quick response. But we went back, and I know I'm dating myself, and you might not believe this, but the Iran conflict, where they had hostages. Mm-hmm. I was in high school. So, that was a long, long time ago. So the 79 and through 81, the 444 days. So basically my entire life, we have been at conflict with Iran. So we have watched it carefully. We've looked at how the markets have reacted. And so we went back to the Gulf War of 1, We went then compared it to the .com in 2000. Then we showed Gulf War II in 2003. And then, of course, 2008, you had the Bear Stearns in Lehman. And the markets have reacted better during short-term military conflicts post-news than financial concerns, right?
Okay.
So the things that really caused long-term damage was .com. And I remember that happening in March of 2000, and it took a significant amount of time, a number of years, for that to recover. Again, September 15th, 2008, we had, of course, the great financial crisis, and it took, 18 months or so to recover. That's not what happened in the Gulf Wars 1 and 2. The market reacted, it really started to get positive as soon as 3 months after the news. So if your question to me is how is the market going to react, you can look this morning. You can see that the NASDAQ has gone into the green here this morning. The S&P 500 is basically even. And but there's still things that you look at. Bitcoin has recovered in a big way. We had, we talked about Bitcoin a few weeks ago. It's recovered all of its loss since then. One of the things we look at is called the VIX. And the VIX is a measure. It's called the fear indicator, the volatility indicator. And shockingly, it was spiking as we got to the end of the week and up into the 21s, which is significantly higher than what it's been. It's not outrageous, but like it knew something. Like the market knew something going into the weekend. And so it's there today. So that suggests that we're going to have some volatility in the markets until that starts to settle down. So the point being is the market reacts more favorably post-military events than post-financial events.
And this is going to be a very cynical question, but is that because there's so much money to be made off of war?
Maybe, but I think what it really is the financial stuff changes the economic background. So let me try to explain it in this manner. If there's an event that's happening in Iran, does that mean that you aren't going to go to the store, go to the grocery store, aren't going to go and shop, stop going to restaurants? That doesn't change the underlying economics of our economy. The financial crisis does. When you had both .com and, of course, 2008, 2020, people stopped going out, they stopped spending. That changes the economic bearings of how people start to invest. So that's the way I would look at it, is yes, it's bad. And of course, nobody wants to see war, especially Trump. I mean, Trump ran on no more endless wars. So hopefully, nobody knows. There's a couple things that nobody knows. What's the end game and how long is it going to take? And if we had those answers, we could trade on it, but we don't. But we're going to have to believe that this is going to be a shorter-term engagement, that this is not Iraq or Afghanistan, and we're locked in there.
Separately, so there's the market, and then there's also oil prices. And so as far as this morning when I was prepping for today's show, it said that oil prices jumped 10% as the markets opened. Mm-hmm. And what do you think what are you watching as far as, because obviously more than 20% of the global supply of oil comes out of this part of the world. Yep. And so what are we expecting to see come from that?
Yeah. So again, sometimes the market reacts quickly and then thinks about it later. But this does have a fundamental reason. So as you point out, 20% of the world's oil goes through the Straits of Hormuz. You wouldn't want to be in a rowboat in the Straits of Hormuz today, right? I mean, there are now 10 ships at the bottom of the ocean of their ships. So that is not a great place. And so, but it has not been blocked yet. So the straits haven't been blocked. So there is oil going in and out of that. But about 40% of that oil does go to China. It's not consumed by the United States or its allies. So I do think that has an issue. It's going to spike oil prices, and lower oil prices have gone into the argument of lower inflation. And so that if you look at how inflation is comprised, one of the core numbers that goes into there is energy, and it's a significant number. And so when oil prices come down, you can see inflation come down, and that leads to the Federal Reserve and what they're going to do.
Got it. All right, well, let's take a quick break and come back and talk about some other issues besides the biggest news of the weekend, including if you have thoughts on the State of the Union, NVIDIA results, AI layoff at Block, but also I want to get your thoughts on the standoff that happened at between the Pentagon and Anthropic last weekend, or last week, and mostly because what companies who have massive contracts with the government, and when something like this goes awry, what that does to their stock value. So let's talk more about that with CEO of Annex Wealth Management, Dave Spano, on Point Taken.
Hey, Monday and Tuesday can be a real challenge, right? Make it easier with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love easy, and I love the Fox and Hounds. It's a top choice award winner for fine dining and most romantic restaurant. Plus, when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free. Enjoy a choice steak, the twin lobster tails, the braised pork shank. How about ribs, pasta, seafood, even a big, huge, fresh salad? Any entree, your second dinner is free. Dessert and ice cream drinks, I love those. Also, buy one, get one free. Buy two, get two free. Buy for the table. 4 desserts, get 4 free. Relax with a cocktail, over 20 bourbons, 100 wines. Old World Bar is elegant, 8 beautiful dining rooms. Wherever you live, it's worth a beautiful drive through the Connemara Forest to the Fox and Hounds. Start your week with a free dinner at the award-winning Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. Tables are open, serving from 4. Dine early at the Fox and Hounds.
Parents can expect to use 2,500 to 3,000 diapers in a baby's first year. The Milwaukee Diaper Mission has distributed over 1.4 million diapers and other supplies for families just last year alone. This is WTMJ's Kristin Brey. Join me for WTMJ Cares Bowling for Babies, where we will raise funds for Milwaukee Diaper Mission. You can be part of it. Text BABY to the WTMJ Talk and Text line, 855-616-1620, to support our WTMJ Cares effort.
WTMJ's Vince Vitrano here for Shopko Optical. Start the new year right. Use your vision benefits and schedule your annual comprehensive eye exam. You can check out new frame styles and order your annual supply of contact lenses all in one place. Shopko Optical is committed to quality eye care and will create personalized vision solutions tailored to your specific vision and lifestyle needs. New year, new you, new style. Call Shopko Optical or visit shopko.com to schedule an appointment at a location nearest you.
Welcome back to Point Taken. Steve is gone for the next 2 weeks. We're here with Dave Spano, as we always are, at 11 o'clock on Mondays, CEO of Annex Wealth Management. And so I wanted to get your thoughts on this, not because of there was a standoff last week that I want to get into deeper this week because we didn't get into it with Steve. But basically, Anthropic had a Pentagon contract, and they had a standoff last week as far as red lines for them that they would not cross. Now, it came to an end, and that contract is now over, and OpenAI has stepped in and taken over the contract. And regardless of the morality or anything to do with why Anthropic did what they did, I thought it was interesting because you saw a surge of consumers downloading Claude, which is Anthropic's app, like chatbot app, over the weekend as a show of support, I think, for them standing up to the Pentagon. But that's not really how these companies' valuations. It's like the consumer doing their $20 a month subscription isn't really what gives these companies their valuation, right? It is these big contracts. So it's a big deal that they stepped out of this, right?
Well, it was a $200 million contract.
Yeah.
And so that's significant. So you could download a whole lot of Claudes on a whole lot of computers, and it's not going to equate to losing a $200 million contract. And what it was, from what I understand, is they had these terms and conditions in the contract with the federal government, and Hegseth and company said there's things in there that don't align with the Constitution, and either if you want to force us to abide by those, they signed the contract, but abide by those terms of the contract, then we're going to cease our contract. That's what I understand and how I read that. But I think you're right on. I mean, these government contracts, you look at, for example, military providers and the like who get government contracts. They're so large, they absolutely change the landscape of these companies. So yeah, it is a big contract that they lost. There's probably, like most situations, another side of the coin that we're not looking at. But I don't doubt that, from at least on the headline story, that is the story, that they were trying to push these terms and conditions. And really, what it was is they didn't want Anthropic to have some of these military secrets and have it open to OpenAI. So that's what I understand. It was a $200 million contract that will go somewhere else.
I was more interested in just as far as as we talk about what the value of any of these AI companies are, as far as how much they're spending versus how much they're making. That is a really big deal. And it even kind of folds into, I just saw as we were at the break, a headline about, since we have not actually banned in stock trading for our politicians yet, certain politicians who are investing in different war stocks now, right?
Yeah.
Over the weekend. And so what these contracts, these government contracts can mean for the valuation of a company. But speaking of AI, Block laid off nearly half of its staff because of AI this weekend. Yeah. And I was unaware of this until you emailed me about it. So what do you make of this story?
Well, the idea is that AI is supposed to be an enhancer of opportunities. It's not supposed to be a replacement. Mm-hmm. But here is a major provider in Block that said they're going to lay off 4,000 people. So it certainly is getting a lot of attention. You saw what happened at Marquette University, where they're going to bring in the speaker for commencement that was AI related, and the students had a conniption. And so one of the reasons why is that should they be concerned that AI will take jobs? But we've heard this before. This might be different. And that's a famous saying in the investment business. This time it's different, right? But the fact is AI a friend or a foe? And I guess it's really going to have to determine how things develop. But I can just tell you, here at our company, we have 180 employees, and we are asking, and we've asked for use cases. We've gone to different of our departments and said, do you know of a way that we can become more effective, more productive by using some of this data, some of these computers? And how does that happen? Because some of these tasks are done. And so, everyone thinks, and obviously it would never happen to someone of your stature, but, can it replace movies? Can it replace radio hosts? Can it, right? And so that's always an interesting conversation, too.
But it's also an interesting conversation because does the consumer want that?
I think companies are interested in becoming more effective. Why? I mean, every company wants to do that. But why wouldn't it? I mean,
I guess when you say can they replace movies? But does the consumer want to watch a movie that is AI versus?
No, probably not.
You know what I mean? As far as is there an appetite? And it's one thing on the B2B side and how to make efficiencies and stuff like that. But as far as the final product being completely made by AI,
right?
Can you make money off of that if people are rejecting it?
Well, you'll remember, in Japan and tech, and the robots are going to take our jobs. I mean, that was 30 years ago, right? So this conversation has been out. But if you study human nature, and I know you do that, you know that people want to deal with human beings, right? But if we can become more productive, I mean, the phone that's probably in your lap right now is more productive and more powerful than the computers that they had 30 years ago. So yes, technology is going to improve. It's going to make us more productive. I can go somewhere in my phone, get my emails, check things, communicate with people, do Zoom meetings off my cell phone. So is it going to make us more productive? I do think that, but we are certainly in an early cycle.
Absolutely.
This is first inning. This is first inning stuff. So we'll have to see really how this develops.
And it's going to be the innings are going to come fast.
I agree. It could be a fast game.
It's going to change quickly.
I mean, Kristin, there are people who are saying within 12 to 18 months, we're going to see significant advances across it. And we're looking at, we interviewed a number of AI firms to say, how can you help us? What's it going to cost? What's the end game? So it's going to be interesting, but will it be a growth scare or a growth enhancer? That's really the story.
All right. What are you looking at for this week?
Oh, there's so much going on. We're going to have to see what happens. Do we get an acceleration in Iran? I mean, you and I talked a couple of weeks ago about, what do you see down the road? And I said, well, there are certainly financial concerns, but when the Ford flat top moved into near the Straits of Hormuz, I said that's going to be a story. We're going to have to see how the market reacts, and we're getting our stories in real time. But look for more economic data as we've now are over with earnings season.
New jobs report this week, right?
Jobs report, which is more economic news. The Federal Reserve probably is going to have to look at some data. I don't think they're going to change their capacity in the next 60 days, but look for interest rate cuts in the meeting after next.
All right. Well, we will talk to you again next Monday. Have a great week, and as always, so great to talk to you, Dave Spano.
Nice to see you.
Absolutely. He is the CEO of Annex Wealth Management, and we will be back with more after this.
Hey, Monday and Tuesday can be a real challenge, right? Make it easier with a free dinner at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. WTMJ's John Mercure here. I love easy, and I love the Fox and Hounds. It's a top choice award winner for fine dining and most romantic restaurant. Plus, when you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free. Enjoy a choice steak, the twin lobster tails, the braised pork shank. How about ribs, pasta, seafood, even a big, huge, fresh salad? Any entree, your second dinner is free. Dessert and ice cream drinks, I love those. Also, buy one, get one free. Buy two, get two free. Buy for the table. 4 desserts, get 4 free. Relax with a cocktail, over 20 bourbons, 100 wines. Old World Bar is elegant, 8 beautiful dining rooms. Wherever you live, it's worth a beautiful drive through the Kettle Moraine Forest to the Fox and Hounds. Start your week with a free dinner at the award-winning Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. Tables are open, serving from 4. Dine early at the Fox and Hounds.
The dance of sunlight on water.
Shimmering, sparkling, beautiful, hypnotic.
Houses that overlook a gorgeous body of water are the most highly desired houses in the world.
The Bellamare collection of fine jewelry features classic white diamonds, flanked and surrounded by rare and exotic blue diamonds.
Bellamare means beautiful water.
Bellamare, sunlight on water, glimmering and twinkling.
The dance is enticing.
The look is spectacular.
The impact is exciting.
Blue and white diamonds created in the heart of Mother Nature
will dance and sing on the body of a glittering, sparkling woman.
Bellamare. This blue and white beauty of sunlight on water
should be worn on the fingers,
the wrist,
the neck, and the ears
of the woman you love.
The Bellamare collection is available only at Kessler's.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Ever wonder what it takes to feel truly wealthy and financially comfortable? Schwab asked Americans that question, and most said at least $2 million. But here's the thing, your number might be different. And that makes sense because your dreams, travel, retirement, and the legacy you want to leave are unique to you. That's why you need advice that's just as personal. The team at Annex Wealth Management is ready to listen and help you build a plan that fits your life. Click the Get Started button at annexwealth.com.
Get inside the mind of Mark Tauscher.
If you're the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, you should be happy when other people want your coaches.
Okay. See the world from his perspective.
And the flip side of it is nobody wants any of your guys. The same thing with players going to free agency.
On Wisconsin's Morning News, every day at 7:50.
If half your guys don't get picked up, you're probably like, well, this guy probably shouldn't have been in the league last year. We should want Jimmy Leonard to go be a head football coach.
Mark Tauscher, presented by Hello Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
I had so much to talk about with Dave Spano that I forgot to mention all the events they have coming up, which they do. So tomorrow in person in Brookfield, there's going to be an event, Moving in Retirement. It's 6 p.m. at the Brookfield headquarters. So if you're considering moving before or in retirement, you can attend this and learn several key points to consider before you make your move. There's also a webinar coming up, Instant Insight, Jobs and the Economic Outlook. That is on March 6th. And you can learn what new job numbers mean for your investments. And also Instant Insight, Inflation Trends, which is March 11th. So information on all of that is at events.annexwealth.com. Or if you just go to annexwealth.com and click the events button, you can get more information about that. Other things to update you on. We have room for just 4 more teens for Bowling for Babies. Yes, next Saturday, we're a week away, less than a week away from Bowling for Babies. We are raising money for Milwaukee Diaper Mission. So put a team of 4 together and hit the lanes with us. Us being Vince Vitrano, John McCure, me, Jen Latta, Alex Strofe, Kyle Wallace, Ben Brust. So if you want in, just text the word baby to WTMJ talk and text line 855-616-1620 so you can have the link. That will send you the link to sign up or just to donate, because even if you can't come, we'd love for you to pitch in $5, $10. I think the silent auction is going live this week. And so I already know one of our great listeners who happens to also own a local gym, as of last week, just donated a really, really great package to bid on. So you should check that out once that's live. All right. And then also, finally, have you subscribed to the newsletter yet? We put a good one out yesterday, but we not only are encouraging you to subscribe, but we also are going to give you tickets, or at least one person's going to win tickets on opening day. So text extra to 855-616-1622, subscribe, and enter to win. When we come back, we are going to talk to my brother in the UAE.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. The conflict in the Middle East spreading throughout the region. The Pentagon confirming 4 service members were killed in Kuwait as Iran carried out retaliatory strikes. President Trump at the White House says Iran did not show it was interested in curbing its nuclear program during talks and described it as an imminent threat of why the U.S. proceeded with its operations. ABC's Martha Radich says it could last, the president says, 4 to 5 more weeks.
The president has said he's open to talking to Iran again, but Iran basically has said we don't want to talk at this point. They've apparently destroyed half of the missile launchers, but Iran still has thousands and thousands of missiles that they can launch throughout the Middle East, throughout those Gulf states, throughout civilian hotels or wherever they want to hit. We don't really know where this ends. The president really didn't answer any of those questions.
The unrest in the Middle East also leading to higher oil and energy prices. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Connie Weber. 2 people shot and wounded early this morning inside Aurora Sinai Medical Center. The victims were 40 who was seriously injured and a 38-year-old who is expected to survive. MPD says a 37-year-old man was arrested. 2 people and a dog are dead after a house fire in Brookfield early Saturday morning. Fire crews called to a home on Brookdale Drive just after 7 a.m. When firefighters got there, they found heavy flames and reports of people still inside. 2 victims and a dog found inside the home. 1 person taken to Freighter Hospital where they later died. 2nd person and the dog pronounced dead at the scene. 3 police officers were hurt, went to the hospital to be checked out. Cause of that fire still under investigation. Walmart delivery drivers in Wisconsin will be getting some financial relief from a multi-state settlement. Attorney General Josh Call says Walmart and its delivery service Spark driver will be paying over $600,000 to Wisconsin as part of the settlement. The big box retailer accused of withholding tips from delivery drivers and changing pay after orders were accepted. Wisconsin, one of 11 states, along with the Federal Trade Commission, that sued Walmart. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is down 69 points, 49,908. The Nasdaq up 81, 22,763. S&P 500 up 2 points at 6,881. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Wisconsin Highway 175 North, almost a mile before I-94 East. They're working on the road there. We've got the left 2 lanes blocked in that area. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Sunny and 39 today. Increasing cloudiness tonight with a low 30. A chance of rain tomorrow. Mostly cloudy, high 41. Chance of rain in the afternoon or evening Wednesday after a high 41. And rain, 44, and rain likely both Thursday and Friday. Thursday's high 46, Friday's high 58. Right now, 36 in Madison, Green Bay, and in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:33.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. You're gonna love it, you're gonna love it all when you shop at St. Vincent de Paul. Old things, new things here for you. We're always changing, we're always new. So many friendly people, smiles from wall to wall. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul. You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
So I was talking with another real estate agent who has been in the business even longer than I have, with a couple of other big-name companies. He was talking about how it's tough to compete with us because we have good agents and we charge less commission. And he even said that he lost a few listings to us, and it always bothered him because he realized that he was doing everything that we were doing, but he was charging more. We do charge less, and we do everything that a full-service agency does. Because we are full-service real estate agents. The only difference is we give you our very best commission rate up front. You do pay for what you get. And with Century 21 Benefit Realty, for 1.9% on the listing side of your home, with a cap of $19,000 commission on any size home, you can get full-service experienced agents, MLS marketing, professional photos, even virtual walkthroughs, and everything you get from any other big-name agent, all under the umbrella of the Century 21 brand. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. Steve has officially made it to Cairo. So for those who are worried about his travel plans, I was certainly worried about his travel plans because, you know, you have things scheduled and you're excited about it, and then world news gets in the way. And that was certainly the case for my family this weekend. And we woke up Saturday, obviously, to the news that we all woke up to, that Israel and the United States had struck Iran. But on top of that, my brother, who is a bit of a rolling stone and constantly has different projects that he works on, he works in finance, he's an entrepreneur, he had been in Dubai and was still in Dubai as of Saturday morning. And so, as you can imagine, I was certainly worried, but my mother was a mess. And he is safe, and he joins us now, not from Dubai, but he still is in the UAE because he is trying to find a way out. So, Ben Brey, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I just found a way out.
Oh, you did?
I'm going to be on, 36 hours, $10,000. We're coming home. Let's go.
All right. So let's back up. As far as you're in Dubai because you're working on a new project, and you were planning to leave on Friday, and were you not paying attention to the news that you thought that maybe you would get stuck there?
Now, what happened was we had a meeting on Saturday, and so everyone knows, I run a hedge fund, so I'm very tuned to what happens in markets and geopolitics. So I was very complacent because I was like, Trump had tacoed so many times, and I was just like, all right, whatever. And then on Saturday morning, basically, when I heard the first missile, I was in my hotel room. Then I knew I was in a bad situation, because if you guys remember the movie Scarface, basically at the end of that movie, the guy does the Tony Montana move where he's like, I'm going to take as many of you out as I can. And I've been telling people this. That's basically what Iran's doing. They're trying to put as much stress on people as they can and take out as many people as they can on their way down, essentially.
So were you outside as you saw? Because that was the first thing I think I woke up to, is you texting us pictures of you taking pictures of missiles getting intercepted in Dubai.
Yeah, so when you grow up in Madison, Wisconsin, you're tough. You can deal with the winter. You can drink a lot. You can deal with a lot of Packers losses in the playoffs. But what you can't be prepared for is missiles over your head. That was a new experience for me. I saw about 5 get intercepted, and I was still okay. We still went to dinner after that. I was like, all right, this is the Middle East. This is how we're doing business. And then when we were driving in from the Palm, if everyone knows what Dubai is, there's this man-made thing that looks like a palm tree that created a bunch of beachfront property, and we basically were 1,000 meters away from when the Fairmont Hotel got hit by the drone, and it was quite difficult to deal with, essentially.
I guess at that point, because like you said, you were a cerebral man. You've seen a lot of things, but I'm not sure you were someone who was made for war. So when you saw that, what was going through your brain as far as what to do next? Obviously, we were trying, as you called us, we were trying to help you as much as we can. But what were you even thinking as far as what next move to make?
Well, I got to give my business partner Sachin credit. He had already thought about it, because in the morning, again, I knew to leave. I was annoyed when I heard the missile. I was like, God damn it, the airspace is closed. Here we go. And then, Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you, yeah. Oh,
sorry. You know what? So basically, the the call space, basically, I heard the missile, and then we basically saw the missile, and then we saw the building get bombed in front of us. So it was like a very progression of like, oh, this, and then Sashin had thought it through, and we went to the other side of the UAE, and I'm on the water right now, and it's quite nice and safe. We're right by the mountains on the sea, but it was like, you know, you don't really, I don't know, maybe it's just like you're naturally complacent, and then once you get to that point, you have to deal with it.
It's fight
but
or
yeah,
flight.
it was, yeah, exactly. Like it literally was that. I was trying to be chill and okay with it, and then it was just when you're 1,000 meters away from a hotel getting blown up, and you see the black smoke come up, you're like, okay, this is where I draw the line in the sand, essentially.
All right, let's take a break really quickly, and when we come back, I want to talk about how hard it's been for you to get a hold of the U.S. Embassy. And
yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah, so let's talk about that, and then also what it's been like trying to find a way out, because there hasn't been any organized effort from the U.S. to get Americans out of the UAE at this moment. So we were talking to my brother, Ben Brey, who is, I guess, not stuck in the UAE anymore, because it sounds like he found a way out, but has been stranded there for the last 48 hours. So stay with us on Point Taken. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is WTMJ Steve's Community here for QC Kinetics. Raise your hand out there if you're excited about feeling older faster than you should. Yeah, I don't think so. Ongoing pain makes you feel older than you are. But here's the good news. QC Kinetics patients right here in Milwaukee are getting relief, feeling younger, jumping back into life full speed, and it didn't happen in an operating room. Dr. Ashley Caravelli and her great QC Kinetics medical professionals use the latest regenerative treatments backed by real science, treatments that take the tiny, powerful healing tools inside your body and concentrate them right where you need relief. That's why Mike is training for a marathon instead of giving up running. Kathy walked around Disney with her grandkids. Alan's back to work, now climbing ladders. No big deal. All real QC Kinetics patients, including me, the sooner you start your treatment, the sooner the inflammation goes away, and the sooner that joint damage slows down, because no one signs up for feeling older faster. Put me in that group. Find out if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. Your visit and consultation is free. Here's a number, 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. If 2025 didn't go exactly as planned, you're not alone. You made it through, and that's what counts. Now it's time for taxes, and for a lot of people, that's when the stress kicks in, especially if things got messy along the way. The good news, a rough year doesn't mean a ruined future. We helped Nate fix a tax mess with the IRS caused by one of those national firms and saved him $103,000 in penalties, plus another $152,000 in taxes, because we know the tax law. Imagine walking into tax season with a clear plan and someone in your corner who knows the tax law and knows how to use it. You earned it. We help you keep it. Call us now at 414-325-2040 to arrange a meeting to see how we can help you. Don't wait. Call now. That's 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with the new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geis's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at geisdoors.com. Geis has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Geis at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Geis. Visit them online at geisdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
At Gruber Law Offices, we've helped tens of thousands of families after a serious accident. Our priority has always been our clients. We're here for you whenever you may need us. One call, that's all.
Well, welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey, and we are talking to my brother, Benjamin Brey, who is currently in the UAE and has been stuck there. Well, was there on business and woke up not being able to get a flight and has gotten out of Dubai. So Walk us through it again. So you were in Dubai. You basically found a driver who got you to the other side of the peninsula. What is the actual city you're in now?
I am north of Fujairah, in a little. Actually, I'm in a very nice hotel villa. But the basic thing was my partner Sachin had the foresight to say, hey, we should go to the other side. Fujairah itself has a Navy base there, so we went north of that. Where the mountains are right behind us, and the sea, not very populated. So it's just that was a risk reduction method, if you will. Not everybody was able to do that, but like the point is that if you look at the map, and I guess I never really fully looked at the map. I've been to Dubai many times. You're definitely in the mix. Like, I feel like, Kristin, you could have probably swam to Iran. You know, you were a champion swimmer back in the day. Like, it's pretty close.
I guess that's the thing. Were you not, I mean, like you said, you pay attention to geopolitics. Were you not worried at all? Because you've been there for, what, a week?
Yeah, no, not worried at all. And that's why I said that the tell, again, remember, I'm a hedge fund manager, so I like to look at things, is Saturday morning when I heard the missile, like, that was the tell. It was like, hey, they are going, this is like a finale to this, basically, what the regime that's in place. And they're like, either they're going to put so much pressure, and I'll give you an example, right? So this is something you probably wouldn't hear from most people. The interceptor missiles that have like protected most of these places only have 3 days of capacity. Today was day 3. Today we had the refinery that has 7% of the world's oil in Saudi go offline. You had the Qatar Energy Company take off their LNG plant, which is 20% of LNG, and European natural gas prices went up 50%. So you're starting to see some attrition that people are going to be upset about, and that's what I think their strategy is like put pressure on. And so these interceptor missiles are about $15 million each. These drones, like the one I saw that hit the Fairmont, $30,000-$40,000 a piece. So that math doesn't really work out. So you're just like, if you think about chess, you're putting your pawns out, and that's basically what they're doing, which is why I needed to get out of here, because I feel like this thing is going to keep going longer than people think. Because I think that people have seen these Trump events, and they're so short, you know, with Maduro being the pinnacle of short. And, you know, Kristin, I had like 4 people ask me if I was the CIA recently, because I've been in both regions for the regime shifts this year.
Well, you were in Colombia for New Year's Eve, and
right, and they turned the internet off on me.
You were in Colombia.
Yeah, but in the region though. But the point is that we're basically in a situation where this only matters because of the oil. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think people would care about Chad, like, you know, or random countries. It's only because of the energy, right? That's the only reason we're talking about it. That's the only reason people in America are thinking about it. Because, you know, if you didn't care about the Middle East before, the only reason you know about it is because of energy, ultimately, right?
And so I want to also just talk about your experience, because one of the advice that I got from actually Joe Zepecki, who had said, like, the first thing you needed to do was get in, because you're not there with a company, right? That you're there, you're an entrepreneur, you're working on a project. You are, despite being a world traveler, you don't usually think about getting in touch with the U.S. Embassy when you're traveling abroad. And
I've never done it once.
And one of the pieces of advice, as this was happening on Saturday, was get in touch with the consulate, with the U.S. Embassy. And so I immediately went on the website, found the Emergency Americans phone number, sent it to you, and you have not been able to get in touch with anyone.
That's correct. So I will tell people that Kristin was a great sister. She acted. She gave me all the emergency numbers. I called them. They're like, hey, just like, you know,
was it a voicemail or a real person?
Voice message. Okay. It was a voice message. It was just like how the Europeans said that they'll have a meeting on Monday. They were like, hey, we'll be back in the office Monday. This is the U.S. consulate. We'll be back in the office Monday. Today I called again, and they're like, we're closed indefinitely. Shelter in place. And let me tell you something about this, people, because we're the ones who are the attackers on this. Well, I have lots of friends who are British. There was Indian. There's a lot of countries who evacuated people. So most of the flights, and I've been on the flight radar because I've been trying to find flights out of here. And the U.S., I called the emergency line, which they say don't call unless it's emergency. I was like, well, I need to get out of here. And they were like, hey, call your airline. And then I said, is there any evacuation flights? And they're like, No, not yet. Which I just found like so crazy that we're the ones who created the situation and we're not evacuating people when we spend so much money. We couldn't just like afford to like throw 10 A380s to get people out of here, whereas like Britain, India, other countries were doing evacuation flights. Like, you know, it's not very consistent, I guess.
So, what is your plan now? I know you said you have to drop $10,000 to get out, but what is your plan to get out?
All right, so here's the plan. This is quite entertaining, actually. It's just booked.
You sound so like not scared.
Well, again, I've been to like 98 countries. I've been a lot of places in my life, so I'm this doesn't really bother me as much. But like the missiles bother me, so that's why I got to get out of here. We got a car picking us up in a couple hours, taking us from where I am in the UAE to Muscat, Oman. It's going to take 4 or 5 hours drive, and there's a decent amount of cash involved. And then we're going to fly to Rome, and we're flying from Rome to Frankfurt, and then we're going to fly from Frankfurt to Houston, and then I'm going to take an Uber to Austin, and then I got a big dinner with a bunch of investors, like famous investors in Austin, Texas, which my buddy who's in there from Singapore is so happy I'm going to make it. So I'm going to go on a legendary travel run here, starting in 4 hours.
And then when are you going to come back to Wisconsin so Mom can hug you?
After that, I'll come home and I'll come give Frankie a hug.
Too, but I think Debbie Brey is about to pull her hair out.
I mean, I felt so bad because, you know, Mom's the best. And like, I was like, oh, I can't believe I like gave her this stress. And it's funny, your husband actually sent me a super sweet text yesterday where he was like, you know, everyone's just acting like everything's fine. You know, they're going to sports games or whatever. And I was like, yeah, those two beautiful oceans, they protect Americans. It's a beautiful place to live. Whereas like over here, they're used to missiles. Like this is the you know, not just the Middle East, but going up to Russia, going up to Ukraine. Like this is how this region's been for a long time, and so Americans should be very grateful for the life that it is in America, because this life over here has been like this. This is not a new thing. I remember when CNN made its name by broadcasting the news of Iraq 1 in 1992 when I was 10 years old, right? So like. This is, and it goes way back before that, but I don't need to give a history lesson. But like, point is, we should be very happy as Americans. And your husband was so sweet. He's like, keeps me up. I worry about it because it personalizes. And I had a lot of people say that to me. Actually, I had a lot of texts. So I do appreciate that. That I guess when you're in a war zone, people reach out.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that was the thing as I've been reflecting over having you there and how scared I was over the weekend and trying to disassociate from not watching too much news, not reading too much into the social media because I wanted you to be safe, and how lucky I am and our family is that this is not something that we constantly live with, as far as having family members, people that we love live in areas of the world that deal with this all the time, and that this is a unique experience for us, and that we were incredibly fortunate, and you're incredibly fortunate that you have the resources to get out, even though it's going to be very expensive. And so I am so happy that you're safe. Thank you for sharing everything with us. I love you so much, and I can't wait till you're back in Wisconsin.
I love you too. It's good to share, and I think it's good because, you know, I do think that the personalizing it, you know, for people in Wisconsin. I'm a Wisconsin boy. I would say that they just don't teach you about missiles over the air. Basically, is the only thing they don't teach you in Wisconsin.
If only you had gone to St. John's Academy, maybe you'd be a little more prepared. All right, Ben Brey, I will talk to you later.
Indeed.
We'll come back and finish up today's show after this.
Potential is like God's love. It lives within everyone and shows us that we are made for more. At Aug Prep, faith ignites excellence in academics, the arts, athletics, and every aspect of our lives. Students don't just realize their full potential, we learn to soar. The #1 K-12 school in Milwaukee is expanding to the North Shore and is now enrolling grades K4 through 6th and 9th. Aug Prep North, made for more. Apply today at augprep.org.
Stop in for savings this week at Fleet Farm that'll help put winter in your rear view. Get a free $25 gift card with the purchase of $100 in Columbia, Dickies, Under Armour, or Wrangler clothing. Fire up the flavor with Griller's Gold barbecue pellets for just $8.99 a bag. And buy 3, get 1 free on Cooper or Goodyear tires with our complete installation package and Resolute road hazard policy. Don't miss these limited time deals, only at Fleet Farm. And for even more, go to fleetfarm.com.
Business owners
and right-hand men and women.
When you make the catering call for your office gathering,
make it Marty's Pizza.
For pizza, pasta, subs, wings, appetizers, and more.
Delivered in our heated oven delivery trucks.
Our catering delivery range has expanded.
All the way east into Brookfield.
Just log on to martyspizza.net for easy online ordering.
Or give us a call at 262-646-3327. 262-646-3327.
Marty's Pizza. Do you remember when times were good? Well, they're good again. It's as good today as it was in the past. It doesn't get any better than that. Remember Marty's Pizza.
If someone asks you to send cash, pay with gift cards or cryptocurrency, or use a banking app or wire transfer, practice caution. These payment methods usually cannot be reversed or tracked, making them a scammer's tool of choice. If the person asking for money refuses to accept another form of payment, it's a scam. Learn more at datcp.wi.gov. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Department of Agriculture, Trade, and Consumer Protection.
At Advent, we help sleep apnea sufferers avoid the CPAP machine by getting your nose and throat working with our unique Advent approach that you won't find elsewhere.
Tune in to Wisconsin's Midday News with Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
From the WTMJ breaking newsroom, a Wisconsin state representative from Milwaukee charged with disorderly conduct after an alleged confrontation with another Democratic member of the Assembly.
Bringing you the latest in news, sports, traffic, and weather.
A staffer at Madison East High School is accused of feeding dog food to a student.
Every weekday from noon until 3 p.m. Only on WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Well, we basically have no time left before the midday news. Thank you again to my brother for sharing his experience. I am very excited that he has found a way out. And we'll come back tomorrow and have a more normal show than today. Todd Alba is going to be back, filling in for Steve. We have James Causey and John Dietrich coming in to talk about Behind the Gun. It's going to be a great show. But for now, news is next.
There's a lot of noise coming out of Washington these days. But one thing retirees in Wisconsin can't afford